Right now, with In Focus investigator Brian Kuhlman, we're talking about the city healing and West Baltimore attempts to build back from this spring's riots. Can leaders change the tide of business and disinvestment in neighborhoods like Penn North and Sandtown Winchester? And here he is. Brian's going to tell us tonight. He spoke to one man willing to roll the dice in one of the most culturally historic areas of our city.
Yeah, Jamie, you could call him the strip mall king. Carl Verstandig has plenty of properties in the city and many more around the country. His latest development is a bit more than a risk, but he's hoping for an even bigger reward. The peeling paint and warped windowsills are the deep wrinkles on a city that's lived through more than a few lifetimes. Sandtown has a vibrant past, faded only by its dim present. Why do you choose to stay in a block like this?
There's so much history here.
Donnie Glover lives in the middle of Sandtown's decline, on a block where the homeowners are gone and the memories of Billie Holiday and Red Fox are fading faster than the painted plywood boarding up the homes here. But since the riots, Glover is hoping to bring pride back to these streets, helping to coordinate the first neighborhood association here in 15 years. You got to build a community here then.
Yes.
Homeless from the ground up.
Yes. And that's what we're doing with this Sandtown Winchester Community Association. Resident driven, most important part. And that's what's not happened in too many years past.
And lack of community begets crime, begets urban decay. Arguably one of the most historic areas for black culture in one of America's oldest cities was on display as a sad, almost bombed out shell of itself. Penn North and Sandtown Winchester are now a national symbol of deep-rooted poverty, crime, and desperation.
Stores that'll range from about 15,000 square feet to about 4,000 feet.
You know people think you're crazy, right?
Absolutely.
But Pikesville developer Carl Verstandig sees opportunity, and a lot of it. Owner of America's Realty, he has 36 strip mall developments around Baltimore and many more around the country. Here on North Avenue, Verstandig sees a future through the prism of a painful past.
It's definitely a crazy investment. It's not going to be, out of almost 300 properties, it's not going to be a home run. But I think it still could be profitable, and I think it would be an excellent asset for the community, and I haven't seen anybody come to the plate in 30 years.
Verstandig's motivation in West Baltimore is not necessarily money, but purpose. The developer grew up in East Baltimore above a grocery store on Aiken Street. The store still stands today. During the '68 riots, Verstandig remembers his father staying open and handing out free food to the community. A memory that came rushing back during the height of the 2015 riots and crystallized into this proposed development. One offering homegrown businesses rent-free storefronts bookended by anchor stores the community needs, like a grocery and a department chain, both of which Verstandig says have already shown interest.
As you said, I'm the only nut that's looking to do a development in this area.
I didn't call you nuts. Other people
call you nuts. And guess what? They're not far-fetched, but that's been my whole career for 30 years, is I've gone into inner city in about 30 states and done redevelopment. And after it's successful, everybody sees I'm not quite that nuts.
I think adding some stability back into this community would be vital to helping the community reinvent itself.
Bert Greenwood owns the building Verstandig is looking to develop. He himself has been in business here for 30 years and has been waiting for just the right developer with just the right vision to transform his property into a springboard for West Baltimore.
I feel very, very strongly that this neighborhood can come back stronger than it ever has been.
And why not start with this old vacant building? Chances are, if you bought a Buick back in the day, you bought it from here on North Avenue. Built in the 20s, 1370 West North Avenue was a landmark on the main drag. Gorgeous architecture with dramatic columns and a honeycomb ceiling. These 120,000 square feet are begging to be relevant again, and Greenwood has been waiting for just the right opportunity.
You know, landmark is an extremely interesting word because that means there's something that's solid, that's there, that's been there, that's withstood so much. This community has withstood an enormous amount, and what we would like to do now is channel all that energy into something positive.
Who could argue it? It's impossible to argue.
For Glover, it's exactly the kind of investment his Sandtown needs. Simply a chance for a beaten-down neighborhood to regain its footing.
I'll be 50 this month, God willing. North Avenue hasn't been touched in certain places in my lifetime.
So what if it is touched?
That's a godsend. No, it's the first time something has been done in my lifetime. How could you not welcome it?
Now, Verstandig says a couple of big national chains have already shown interest in leasing that space on North Avenue, including Rose's department store. He's offering all proposed tenants a kick-out clause, a 5-year deal where the first year is rent-free. If the business doesn't work after that, they can simply walk away. Verstandig would like some tax credit help from the city or the state, but has yet to hear from either leadership. Still, he says he's moving forward and hopes to break ground in 4 months.